Hi there, everyone. How are you? My name is Michael Antozzi. I'm the Director of Sales as well as Business Development here with Advice Media. Nice to be able to put this presentation together here for you for the Less Institute. I wanted to introduce Advice Media. We're a specialized healthcare digital marketing as well as website technology company. And really, when we work with private practices, it's really done with the intention of really helping them to become much more profitable in a digital age through having a very powerful online presence. Now, in terms of how that is executed, we do everything from your search engine optimization to social media management, developing content strategies, helping to build more positive reviews, particularly on platforms like Google, local citation management, building out an amazing website. These are just really all things that, as we look at it, uh, it helps your web presence really become what it truly is, which is a digital sales funnel. Even if the practice, in this case with Less Institute, is very much heavily word of mouth driven, we really can't neglect the idea that patients still do their research online. And so much of what they find online will help to determine whether or not they'll continue down that journey of going to see Dr. Chin. So I see that there's a lot of opportunities for growth with the Less Institute's web presence online. And what I wanted to show you here today is a very brief synopsis on some things that are of concern for me, as well as what we can do to really turn this around. So I want to kind of dive right in here. First of all, when I'm connected with Dr. Chin online, and when I had first reached out, I had done some analysis on his overall website trafficking. And this is really the one thing that was the initial thing that stuck out to me that's really of concern. And what this is a snapshot of the Less Institute's organic traffic over the course of time. Now, an ideal traffic curve really looks more like the left-hand side of a mountaintop, where as time goes on, really week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, and year after year, we're seeing a continual rise within the website's traffic. But that's not what the data that we're looking at here for the Less Institute. And frankly, as we can see that really even dating back through since May of 2017, there's just been a lot of stagnation. There's been not really much traffic growth opportunity here. And that's obviously hurting the practice in terms of its future growth potential, as well as how the website is really converting more lead opportunities for the practice. Now, with that being said, there is something here that I'm seeing here right now. Your practice is putting forward a lot of effort in terms of new content aggregation. And what I'm showing you here right now is basically a listing of all of the separate URLs on this website. And as we can see, there's a lot of blog content. Now, if you want to understand the value of blogs, it breaks down to better listings on Google. You want to feed your website more content and more information via its blog, so that way the website can really grow and mature in terms of its trafficking opportunities or its exposure. I kind of liken it to, if you have a newborn child, if you want your child to grow and to mature, it needs proper rest, but it also needs proper nutrition. So content is the digital nutrition that feeds your website to allow it to mature and obviously get your site in front of more potential patients. Now, again, I see a lot of effort here that's being done to create new blog pieces, but it's not translating in terms of how it's helping to increase the trafficking opportunities. The same goes for Dr. Chin's social media as well too. He's a great, super strong on social media with his Facebook, but again, it's not really helping to deliver more trafficking opportunities for the website. Now, a lot of this is just caused in part to the fact that your practice really is not following a good, thoughtful digital strategy in terms of how Google actually works. For example, blog writing is a very advanced Google activity, but it's not being supported with some of the very core foundational pieces that you really need to have in place in order for the web presence to mature. So again, a lot of effort, not a lot of return. And this is what this conversation or this presentation will show you are the deficits that your site currently has right now, and really what we're going to be doing to really help to turn this around. First and foremost, I want to show you some actual trending data here. Now, if I go to trends.google.com, and I'm just going to type in a search here for spine surgeon. And one of the things that I really want you to pay attention to here is that this is the trafficking or the search interest opportunity for a term like spinal surgeon on Google's platform. This is dating back about 1 year ago. Now, what we can see here is basically some normal sporadic traffic patterns as it pertains to this search interest for spinal surgeon. Obviously, is this date right here, which is mid-February. This was really, for lack of a better part, really the start of the pandemic, and we can really see how that went down. However, since mid-April, we have really seen that the search interest for something as it pertains to, say, spinal surgeon has really increased since that time. And really, even as we're at today, in today's search interest level, this actually exceeds pre-pandemic search interest for where we were at this point last year. So the key takeaway here is that this is a content marketer's dream. No doctor will ever have this type of opportunity again to really be better positioned on the internet, because think about it, we now have so much more downtime as patients. We have so much more face time with our computer screens, with our devices. And this is the opportunity. This is really the moment where you want to be best positioned to capitalize on this search traffic. So we're seeing, again, a lot of volume with search interest for spinal surgeon. Relating it back to this data though here is too, this site is not really seen as a good resource for that. Now, one of the first things that's really holding you back here is the fact that your citation errors, what we otherwise call your KNAPP score, your name, address, and phone number, has a ton of what we call data citation errors on it. Now, there's a lot of different directories that will aggregate your business's information, your name, your address, and your phone number. Now, some of these directories you've known of, like Yahoo, Bing, Facebook, Foursquare, and these are the ones that I'm kind of showing you here right now. But then we get into some more obscure directories, DexKnows.com, CitySearch, Merchant Circle, Easy Local. Here's the thing, is that if these directories, all directories really matter when it comes to Google, because the very first thing that a search engine like Google is going to look at, particularly since search has become so much more hyper-localized, is how consistent is a practice listed online. And if there's a lot of inconsistencies with the data citation errors, Google trusts the validity of that data less, and that lessens ranking opportunities for your website. Therefore, you're not getting as much traffic to your site. And because you're not getting as much traffic to the website, you're not converting as much of that traffic into new phone calls or form fills. In other words, interested patients that found you online want to go see Dr. Chin, but they just really can't because your site is not really being seen as that resource. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to integrate a tool, which is what we call Local Power. And it's a software that we have. And basically, the moment that we plug the correct data listing into Local Power, it disseminates that and it spreads that across the 100+ directories that exist online. And it ensures that how your data is showing up is accurate and consistent. And we really need that as a baseline to really support further visibility efforts as time goes by. Now, this is even more supported because we've actually have seen here, because of the pandemic, a change within patient search behavior. And how patients are now searching for the pandemic, we've seen was what we call a lot of best near me searches. Hey, Google, show me the best spinal surgeon near me. Now, I want to show you here that one of the top trending queries right now, as we can see for a term on Google Trends for spinal surgeon, is what do we see here? Spine surgeon near me. Now, how Google qualifies, quote, near me is 100% a function of how consistent and accurate your citation data is here. So by just having a very simple program like this, it's really going to position you better for how local search is being done, and obviously show the LEST Institute as a great resource to show patients, because the website, the assets that are being created from the website are super strong, but again, it's just not really capitalizing in terms of new opportunities here. So I hope that makes sense here. Secondly, what we're going to integrate is a tool which is what we call Review Power. And what Review Power does is it's a text message based system that will help you to facilitate more Google reviews, both more reviews to your Google My Business listing, as well as your very powerful social media profile here. And again, zooming in here, this is just, reviews in today's world matter so much. 84% of consumers will indicate that reviews matter as much to them as a personalized recommendation. So this is really where you need to make your presence felt. And for the almost 29,000 followers that Dr. Chin has on his social media feed, we would expect that there's a lot more reviews here that would also be posted as well. And I certainly see some opportunity here for your practice to be much better capitalized in terms of its positioning. Now, here is the Hollywood, Florida area here. And as you can see, I did a search here for spinal surgeon. And these are basically all of the listing results that we're going to be seeing here. And by the way, a lot of the times patients will start their journey on maps because, again, they're trying to find the doctors and the resources that are close and local to where they actually live and practice. Now, the opportunity that I really see here, and here's the Less Institute right here. We can see that they're a 4-star practice with 4 reviews here. You need to have much better volume than this. But here's the other thing that I'm really not seeing as well too, is that really none of the local competitors are really capitalizing on their Google review strategy. You can see here, Dr. Ashish, 1 Google review. Dr. Anup here, 4 Google reviews, 5-star practice, 5 Google reviews here. Spine and orthopedic specialist, very highly rated on Google. This is what Google would really see as a great resource to show particular patients as they're doing their local searches here. You can see that they have 112 reviews, almost a 4.8-star practice. So again, this is where you really need to be much better positioned. Now, where practices typically fail is that they just don't have a process in place to really facilitate or drive new review opportunities. And that's what our system is really going to help you out in terms of doing for you, is being able to make sure you can target specific patients, make sure that they've had a great experience at your practice, and then making it very easy for them to just simply click on a link, go right here to your practice's Google My Business listing, and then write a review. Now, the other facet of this, and this is kind of a secret as well too, is that Google also rewards those profiles, Google My Business profiles, that actually respond to reviews as well too. This is an article that's coming out here from Chatmeter, and you can see that Google confirms that responding to reviews also improves your localized SEO. So our tool with Review Power not only just allows you to generate more reviews, but it will give you a real-time notification and then easily allow you to log back into the platform, see all the reviews that have been posted and propagated about your practice, and then actively respond to them as well. So again, this is another very low cost, high yield marketing activity that really better positions your website and your digital marketing efforts for locally based searches. The third component of this as well too is really making sure that we can get you into a much better website here. You can see here that the Less Institute, and this is the thing I love about this site. I love the fact that your practice has been creating original content assets here. Unfortunately, we can kind of see here how this photo really doesn't scale well on a full screen device because Dr. Chin's eyes get cut off here. Now as we kind of start to scroll in a little bit, this reconfigures itself. But still, nonetheless here, the website's technology and I can see here when I do a quick little scan on, let me go back here to your website here, it's built off of Squarespace. Squarespace is a nice technology from the perspective of it being a very inexpensive website builder, but it's not really going to move the needle forward in terms of your actual better organic traffic. That's why we build all of our websites off of WordPress. Now, this is an article that came from Search Engine Journal, and this is an Search Engine Journal. It's an unbiased resource here, but this is actually coming out from January of this past year, and 10 reasons why WordPress is really the best CMS platform for your search engine optimization. So that's going to be much improved here. But more importantly, even beyond that, a website's job is, by the time we land on this website, we want to, the site's job is to basically incite new phone calls or lead generation. So lead is a phone call, a form fill that can be filled out. Some practices are even experimenting with online chat, which is a really nice attribute to keep your website open 24/7, 365. However, the most important component that your website needs to have and always make sure it's always available is the phone number. And we can see here that this phone number here, which is on the left-hand corner of the screen, which is very itty-bitty and tiny, the moment we start to scroll down, we lose all contact information. We lose all ability to actually take that next step in terms of a call to action for this practice here. Now, good marketing is all about simplicity. It's about making it as easy as possible for a patient to take a call to action when they're ready to do that. This is another spinal surgeon that we work with in New York City here. And as you can see, the phone number, super bright, easy to identify. Call today, 212-606-1004. But most importantly, as we start to scroll down here on the page, that phone number never leaves the eye line of a patient. So you have to remember, by the time we've landed on this website, we've had a great experience. We've been really impressed by what we see. You got to make it very easy for a patient to take a call to action when they're ready to do that. Same with this one as well here too. The phone number never leaves the eye line of a patient. Call 856-222-4444 here. Doesn't matter where we go, that phone number always stays on our eye line. I played football in high school. One of the things that my football coach always preached to us is that you have to take care of the small things. And if you do that, the big things will unfold and take care of themselves. A way of applying that towards digital marketing is that if you're not taking care of the small details, in other words, not having good traffic to your website, having inconsistent citations, no way of really generating good Google reviews, a website that really doesn't produce as much lead generation, all these small errors combined really add up and compound itself to create larger issues. And so the best practices really work to get in front of this curve and really correct things now so that way they don't have to worry about the problems later. And as I mentioned to you, this is really a content marketer's dream in terms of where we are at right now from a timing perspective. And these are really the reasons why the practice really should be investing into a better web presence now, because again, you're just never really going to have the opportunity as you have right now. Now, the other aspect of this as well too that I want to show you here is how the website converts and scales down on mobile. Remember, mobile is going to account for 75% of your website's traffic, okay? It's not really through desktop computers. And so when we build out a website, we really build from the mobile experience first. And again, this is how your website scales down on mobile, where's the phone number here? It becomes very difficult for us to engage or to take that next step when we're ready to do that. But the way our sites are developed here easily features mobile click to call. All I have to do is simply click on that icon. It connects me directly to your practice's main line. Same with this one here as well too. And that is what helps to make your lead generation better and thus your practice more profitable. And let's face it, at the end of the day, your life better because you now have a much better web presence that is built to really make and convert more revenue opportunities here for you. So that's basically the presentation in all. These are the aspects that we're going to be fixing from a foundational level. And obviously, as your practice matures, as the results of the pandemic start to kind of break apart a little bit, as we start to hopefully soon get back to more of a normal routine, there's certainly a lot more that Advice Media can really be doing to move the needle forward here for you. But this is really a great first step in terms of really taking your web presence up to the next level. So I appreciate your time for watching this presentation. I'm always available. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. 610-223-7448 is my cell phone. Thank you everyone so much for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.